Join me to paint a graceful doe looking directly at the viewer, surrounded by a serene forest background in a peaceful winter scene. Take a piece of cardboard and carefully peel off the top layer to reveal the corrugated layer. We will use this textured side to paint the tree trunks in the background. Here is a simple 4-step guide you can follow to create the sketch before starting the painting. I mix ivory black with permanent orange to create a dark brown shade, which I then dilute with water to achieve a medium value for painting the background. I start by dipping the piece of cardboard in water for few seconds, about 3 to 4 seconds, to slightly dampen it. Next, I dip it into the pigment and I test it on a scrap paper to ensure it's working as intended. You can see that the corrugated texture doesn't form properly because there is too much pigment on the cardboard. To fix this, I shake off any excess pigment so it drips back onto the palette. Then I go over again on the scrap paper. You can see that the results are just right. Now we will repeat this same process on our actual painting. I rotate my board for convenience and start painting the paper using corrugated texture of the cardboard. I envisioned the background filled with birch trees, so the white spaces represent the birch tree trunks. Alternatively, you can think of them as the trunks of other trees with brown bark. And I kept the tree trunks simple without adding details, as the main subject of this painting is the doe. If you would like to add more details to the tree trunks, feel free to do so. But I personally prefer to keep them simple and expressive to maintain a calm atmosphere in the painting. While painting around the doe, be careful not to let the cardboard texture touch the doe's sketch. I am finishing the remaining areas by painting the rest of the tree trunk with the pigment from my palette using a small round brush. I wipe off the pigment that is on the masking tape and allow the paper to dry completely. Next we have to paint the doe. For that first I'm applying a light value of permanent orange to the doe. While it's still wet, we will be adding more deeper values. Next, I mixed permanent orange with a small amount of ivory black to create a light brown shade, which I used to paint the back of the dough. Next, I'm adding more ivory black to the permanent orange to create a dark brown shade, which I use to paint the darker areas of the dough. Now I'm using light brown shade to paint near the muzzle of the dough. I want to avoid any hard edges around the muzzle, so I'm using a damp brush to soften the edges. Once again, I'm adding a dark brown value to the areas as shown in the video. Next, we need to paint the shadow underneath the dough using a light brown shade, gradually reducing its value as it extends to the right side of the dough. Next, I wet a small part of the foreground area and paint it with medium brown shade, ensuring there are no hard edges. Then I allowed it to dry completely. At last, using a toothbrush, I splattered some brown paint. We have reached the end of this painting process. I hope you enjoyed creating this winter scene. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I will see you in next video. Until then, take care and bye bye from Prema.